Now that the first few alpha tests here at the studio are complete, the team at Boss Key Productions can finally start addressing player feedback. But how exactly is that done? We've provided multiple platforms for people to voice their opinions about balance, graphic issues, and everything in between. We're working hard to make the game better by listening to you, the players. And with that, the design team is on point to take that feedback and translate it into in-game action. They can share more.
First thing we have to do is we have to actually translate the feedback that we get, because right now we have a lot of it. So we have a lot from just people's comments on forums to the surveys that they took and all that stuff, and then we actually have the in-game data. So right now we're comparing the two and kind of like making a report out of it. And how that translates from there is we actually get some action items out of it.
And then what we'll do is we'll set up a strategy for implementation. This is what we're going to do to implement it. This is how we're going to play test it. We get it into our daily play test sessions, which we do at least 2 times a day. And we'll just hammer on it over and over and over again until we feel it's good. And if we don't think it's good, we'll go back to brainstorming and come up with a better idea, implement it. And once we've landed on something we think is gold, or at least on its way towards being gold, we're going to drop it to our alpha community, let them be the ultimate deciders on whether or not they think our solutions are valid.
As telemetry, surveys, and general player feedback come into the studio, it either validates or disproves certain elements about the game. We don't want to design in our own little bubble, and that's why alpha input is so valuable to us. There are a few things the team has already started testing based off current player feedback, and they can tell you more.
So in the previous test, we had 3 things that really stood out. Those were health regeneration, the aerator specifically, and the movement speed of all of our characters across the board, including their movement abilities.
These are all things that were called up by the community that we're going to be iterating on and testing it so that we know the pros and cons of these solutions, so that when we put it out into the wild, we'll get new data from the community and from the players, versus we put something out that we already know is kind of flawed. So that's why we're actually doing this process.
The health stations now regenerate even bigger characters, kind of like the Titan, in a more fair amount of time. It's not just sitting in there for 5 to 10 seconds and being completely bored. They'll do the Titans faster, but we don't want to overpower the Assassins. The Assassins are still relatively the same amount of time. But expect more changes to come in the future. That's not going to be the end of it. This is just the beginning of trying to work with something that we already had accessible. The aerator, you notice we removed the aim down sights, which I think that was very healthy. Kills that really long range game that was really frustrating at some points. It'll really help when you check out the new Promenade map. But at the same time, I think we've got something that we're messing around with for replacing the aim down sights, so look forward to that in the future. And then the last thing was the movement speed.
The speed increase in general is going to change how the game is played fundamentally as soon as you press W, A, S, or D, right? So that's just the start, and we're going to be going, even further over the rest of the summer.
And the movement speed, you've noticed, all the characters' base movement has been increased, but again, that's not the end of it. We're looking at movement abilities. We'll be checking out how we can get you guys flying more and grappling more, while at the same time not breaking the balance in our game. But that's more future content to come, so look forward to the future.
We're moving at the speed of light here at the studio, and as always, your feedback is absolutely paramount, so please keep it coming. To see the other dev diaries, head over to the LawBreakers YouTube, and as always, follow @LawBreakers and @BossKey for the latest news. For everybody here at the studio, thanks for watching.